The TVWAN News is proudly brought to you by BSP, our bank.
Is New Britain to develop to SEZ? And Vipers underdogs when they face Dabaris. The 2022 election-related violence in Kabum District, Morobe Province, has taken a huge toll on the vulnerable members of the community. Women and the elderly members of the Selepet local level government have difficulty accessing health services and cash as well, since the only BSP branch has remained closed till now.
The July 17, 2022 election violence in Kabum District, Morobe Province, had a resounding effect on the rural area's economy, health and education system. Despite producing some of the best organic produce in Morobe, including choco, cabbage and bananas, the vulnerable members of Kabum Station in the Selepet local level government are still suffering from the impacts of the rampage that ripped through the district headquarters, the smashing and burning of ballot boxes, buildings and vehicles. The Kabum district headquarters remained closed for 2 years, including the BSP branch. This means that the people there, including elderly Dengop women, Sokeve Yapeng, cannot access cash. And of course, with no district administration, the price of goods and services, including PMV fare, went up.
Kising kalong ya say bayin dong 50 kina ko da na waso ya kising hako ngani santi o kising turo may antrik kina na kananda tingin na ligit man kasi turo kasi na sample am tala so long mani mbla say ko da na waso mbla looking time long mani mbla looking good mani mbla bayin ko ko no ka isda ori karen kokonas boy kam salim long looking ori kuting long group. Kalau putih nawan Cina 50 toya, 20 toya, 30 toya ikutan. Ligli em 10 toya. Saya saling buat SM. Coconuts now all saling long 150. No katru albat saling long 2 kina tas. 2 kina no kai coconuts. Nhalong prakisong coconuts ikam.
Apart from the drastic increase in the prices of food items and PMV fare, Yapeng said the health center is not operating as well. This means those needing urgent medical attention, including pregnant women, have to pay 300 kina or 400 kina to local business operators to assist them to the Etep Rural Hospital in the nearby Tewai Siasi district. Otherwise, the rural populace will need to get prescriptions from health workers and purchase their own medical drugs from the trade stores in the area. Meng Yapeng and her people are hoping that things will get better for them, following the peace ceremony that was hosted by Morobe Governor Luther Wenge and the Kabum District Reconciliation Committee on Saturday, June 22nd and Sunday, June 23rd. Camilla Guare, TVWAN News, Lei.
Work of police in the Yalibu Pange district of Southern Highlands Province has been boosted with the opening of 50 new houses for the hardworking men and women in blue. The keys to these new houses were handed over to police last week in a colorful ceremony in Yalibu.
50 new houses were handed over to the police in Yalibu Pangia district last week. From the 50, 25 houses were built in Yalibu to house Yalibu police, while another 25 in Pangia for the police there. The successful completion of these houses was a result of a partnership between the Yalibu Pangia DDA, Southern Islands Provincial Government and the Department of National Planning. Local member and former Prime Minister Peter O'Neill, in thanking the Lama community for allocating land to the DDA to build this facility, he also challenged them to look after the barracks, hinting that this was the start of more services to come.
So there's an opportunity come where you make a barracks now, Emi start taso. Emi start taso, no more government services back come up. Suppose you may up and down low here, no got more government services back come up.
with the presence of opposition MPs at the opening, including the alternate Prime Minister Rainbow Paita. O'Neill explained to his people how Paita was involved in this project.
DDA put himself the money go inside past the tram ECC stop. Governor come inside Nalvin Yumi. Na time Rainbow Paita and Mr. Bolsa Minister of Planning come Nalvin Yumi finish this project. 50 house. Also na two also probably project can stop so some probably no can sentin karangia.
O'Neill stressed the importance of having a good police force to police law and order in the district in order to maintain the good reputation the district has of being peaceful among the Highlands provinces. Fintaven MP Rainbow Paita, while the Planning Minister allocated funds for the completion of this housing project and highlighted the importance of working together, irrespective of which side of the House one MP was in.
Time to talk him, am I right? Country thinking of semna, plenty something mo semna, plenty jealous to come na, try mo throw me to pisin. Am to him right, but me resign na, but me giving Prime Minister lo you. This am show of leadership. Time people you talk, time issue we come up, long saving passing, Peter really make him strong play decision. We're planting money no selling now.
Host Governor William Powie also explained the provincial government's input in the project and called on the people of Yalibu Pangia to put politics aside and work together.
No can work in politics, now go work in divide. Leave politics to the politicians. You know, so tomorrow, all by more drink coffee and stuff, now you work in Bilbon nothing. So take this very seriously.
He also took time to acknowledge O'Neill's contribution in his political career and his leadership and maturity in this space. Ruth Rongola, TV1 News.
With the PNG Games scheduled to be hosted in Southern Highlands Province in June 2025, the Southern Highlands Provincial Assembly was told that no money has been released yet to build the Games venues in the province. And with just months remaining before the Games, suggestions to cancel the Games have been brushed aside. Member for Yalibu Pangia Peter O'Neill has called on all districts to support the Games by making available 1 million kina each to start construction work on the venue.
During the Provincial Assembly meeting last week in Mendi, the provincial chairman of the PNG Games Organizing Committee, Ambe Kelali, was invited to provide an update on the preparations so far. In doing so, Kelali revealed that no money from the 270 million kina announced for the Games has been released yet. To this, host Governor William Powie raised concerns of the possibility of not being able to deliver the Games once again.
But my concern is, don't good me all him title 19 long. Talk national government will approve 270 million. No current of funding lo display to come and then 5 moon left. Me no like come up stupid law. I have long country na talk. I failed to deliver. Now to date no only 10 or 20 million come up so me how by me blow fund him display 270 million infrastructure. So
Member for Yalibu Pangia Peter O'Neill was optimistic, calling on the assembly members not to depend on funding from the national government.
Provincial government legally budget or something, finish him the stadium. Lo ORF. Miblo lo 1 district, but Miblo put him 1 million kina. Lo you may host him.
His reason is to uphold the image of the province, so Southern Islands is not seen as being incompetent.
You must host him this club because I'm name blow you mean governor. I'm name blow you here. But this whole country look at you me. People in the one blow league. Mangi is a place where only come na you me biro. Suppose government blow me like come, Laramol come. Suppose only no come, very blow. I'm grassroots game here, I'm grassroots there. You can work him level blow grassroots.
He said with the province producing many successful businessmen, it is time they all come together and unite for one good cause, and he pledged 1 million kina as his personal contribution.
Whether national government come or there's some money blow 250 million, people need him. There's like one businessman also kagala youth, kagala province, kagala country, talk about putting money blow. Member putting first 1 million kina blow money blow me yet. District will put in 1 million, member put in 1 million, but you may come up in the Games. Thank you.
Meantime, 270 million kina funding by the national government is supposed to be channeled through the PNG Sports Foundation, but nothing has been received to date. Ruth Rongola, TV1 News.
The U.S. Embassy in Papua New Guinea marked the 248th Independence Day of the United States with a celebration led by Ambassador Anne-Marie Yastishok. The event, attended by notable figures including former Olympic swimmer Ryan Pinney, focused on the theme Team USA. In her speech, Yastishok highlighted the unifying power of sports and the enduring ideals of the American dream. She encouraged attendees to pursue their aspirations through hard work, teamwork, and fair play. Yastishok also touched on the ongoing U.S. presidential election, framing it as a testament to democratic values and the nation's commitment to progress in civil rights. The event underscored unity, determination, and the pursuit of excellence, celebrating the freedoms and opportunities that define the American dream.
The ultimate idea that any individual can pursue their dreams and build the life they strive for if they put in the hard work. The American dream encourages each of us to pursue our passions and our aspirations. It's our unique strengths, interests, and backgrounds that come together to form a diverse and impactful society. And 248 years ago, our founding fathers pledged their lives, their fortunes, and their honor to forge this new path, one guided by liberty, justice, and the pursuit of happiness.
The VT1's debut performance at the Lamana Gold Club on July 6th was a night to remember for music enthusiasts in Port Moresby. The event, meticulously planned by Kick Entertainment and Chilla Coco Beats, featured VT1's artists Ratu, Billy T, and Liz Vamarasi, who captivated the audience with their unique sound. The concert began with an electrifying performance by award-winning artist Daniel Morgan from PNG, whose powerful vocals set the tone for the evening. DJs Rich Anthony and Dirty Fingers kept the energy high with their tracks, getting the crowd dancing from the start. When VT1s took the stage, the atmosphere became electric. Ratu, Billy T, and Liz Vamarasi delivered stellar performances, seamlessly blending traditional Itauki chants and lali beats with contemporary music trends. Their captivating stage presence and innovative sound had the audience enthralled from the first note to the last. The highlight of the night was the artists' rendition of their hit singles, showcasing their vocal prowess and their distinctive VT1 style. The crowd's enthusiasm was palpable, with cheers and applause echoing throughout the venue. The event was a resounding success thanks to the support of Chilla Lamana Hotel and Air Niugini, which provided travel and accommodation for the artists. VT1's performance marked a new chapter in the Pacific music scene, leaving fans eagerly anticipating their next appearance. Overall, the concert was a celebration of Fijian music's evolution, bringing a fresh, dynamic sound to Port Moresby and promising an exciting future for VT1s and its growing fan base. You're watching TV1 News. We'll have more stories when we return. Stay with us.
Experience a convenient and smarter way to do your banking with BSB Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase easy paid units wherever you are. Visit your BSB branch today to register now for BSB Mobile Banking. BSB Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSB, our bank, our people.
He loves the Maroons. He loves the Blues. But there's one thing that brings everyone together. SB Laga, Bunyamyumi.
Mama.
You wait then, but me add him special flavor.
Put in more flavor, put in more taste. Magical karuki up a big smile on face. Time for kim chicken, a great kumutu. Sip, sip, the mumu, yes, magic on you.
Maggi, the taste PNG loves.
A quick favorite meal for the day does feel good. Snacks noodles is my choice for a simple meal. It is easy to prepare and fast to cook. And with a touch of flavor and ingredients, quality noodles that can be cooked and enjoyed in many different ways. You see, my whole family loves it. It's made here in PNG and comes in different pack sizes. Snacks noodles, tastier by you like you more.
Superstition ain't the way.
Welcome back. It was an eventful learning week for 81 community volunteers and teachers in early childhood development of the Manam Care Centers, Mangem, Potsdam and Asuramba, and Manam Island and Impact Resettlement Area of Anduram. These educators graduated at the Megia Pastoral Center after receiving specific phonics training facilitated by Jolly Phonics and supported by the Manam Resettlement Authority.
Efforts are underway to build a strong education foundation for Manam's children, especially those now growing up in the 3 care centers and the resettlement area of Andarum in Medeng's Bogia district. Bonita Amepo is a teacher trainer and facilitator of Jolly Phonics. She trained volunteers to be ECD educators. Those who attended the recent week-long training are passionate about teaching. During training, they connected with each other emotionally, sharing their aspirations and challenges within the early learning spectrum. Ms. Amepo was also impressed with the participants as they were eager to learn, and despite the low literacy levels, they communicated well with her, illustrating their eagerness to learn and improve.
We got to share our challenges. The teachers were able to talk to us about the challenges they faced in the communities regarding education, regarding their children going through to primary and to high school. So with this program, it was really good. It turned out really well because the participants were communicating with us.
Ms. Amepo added that it was crucial during early learning that teachers need to understand and probe developments within a child from 3 aspects: personal, social, and emotional development. Also to understand that teaching is not only a technique, but a skill acquired over time with proper cultivation. It was a learning experience for participants as they discovered new words, learned to pronounce words correctly, learned synonyms and basic necessary rhymes, which potentially kickstarts a child's learning capacity.
So it is throughout the program that we discovered that these community educators could do more than what they're able to do. So we're very happy to be here to support them, and we believe that the Jolly Phonics program will be a starting phase for them, just to have children to learn how to read and write, be able to understand language in the top place.
Joseph Quintao, Manam Resettlement Authority Community Development Officer, was pleased to see the overwhelming interest in volunteering for the ECD program. He encouraged participants to teach with integrity and impart quality knowledge for a good education foundation for Manam and Andarum children.
So, foundation of side education, we can have infrastructure for primary education, high school, universities. We can have all of that. But suppose foundation will mangi straight from a young age. You think about using this classroom or primary school? You think about tertiary or uni? What? So the foundation is very important. That's why you are here.
Mr. Quintao added that in time, there will be more trainings for those who are interested in pursuing ECD teaching. They will also continue to work with Jolly Phonics to have refreshers for ECD teachers. Many ECD teachers are volunteers, and as such, incentive is based upon community contributions, which often discourages ECD teachers. However, Manam Resettlement Authority states that they will continue to work with LLGs to ensure these teachers remain motivated to teach children. The ECD trainees who graduated were given a dictionary each to continue to enhance their vocabulary, as well as teaching materials and a guide pack from Jolly Phonics. Ruth Rungola, TV1 News.
Lemban Kaki, a product development officer at the PNG Tourism Promotion Authority, earned a Certificate 5 in Climate Resilience from the University of the South Pacific in Fiji. The 6-month course, sponsored by the Pacific European Union Marine Partnership Program, covered topics such as vulnerability and risk assessment, resilience projects, institutional frameworks in resilience, and sustainable practices. Kaki plans to apply his new knowledge to marine projects within TPA. TPA CEO Eric Mosman-Uvovo praised Kaki's achievement, emphasizing its alignment with national and international climate goals. Newton Kennedy, TPA's executive manager for partnership and product development, highlighted the importance of integrating climate resilience into TPA's projects to enhance ecotourism and disaster risk reduction.
Make sure the projects that we deliver are climate resilient and the ones that can be able to withstand the impacts of climate. So that was the training that I went, and also the knowledge that I've gained will definitely improve and add value to the work that I'm currently doing here with TPA.
Minister for International Trade and Investment Richard Maru announced today that the national government will be investigating the company East New Britain Palm Oil Limited. The minister's announcement follows numerous complaints from the oil palm farmers that they had to stop selling palm oil to the company for 9 weeks now due to the low prices being offered for their product.
Minister for International Trade and Investment Richard Maru has called for East New Britain Palm Oil Limited to be investigated. He expressed disappointment at hearing the negative experiences of the farmers. Maru says the national government will not take these complaints from the oil palm farmers lightly. He assured them when in East New Britain province this week that the national government will act immediately.
So I want to announce to the country today that I'll be working very closely with the Minister for Oil Palm to bring a cabinet submission in the next 2 weeks for a full-scale investigation into the operations of this company. To be fair to the company, that investigation must be impartial. We must bring in a team of neutral investigators.
Minister Maru explained that in the last 10 years, the average global price for palm oil stood at $886 per metric ton, and New Britain Palm Oil reported in 2022 confirmed that the farm gate price of palm oil was over 800 kina per ton. Whilst there have been changes in palm oil price in the world market leading to changes in the farm gate prices, Minister Maru said East New Britain Palm Oil have been paying the farmers in the Gazelle Peninsula only 16 kina per ton for the last 10 years.
Why is it that they've been only getting 16 kina per metric ton? Have they been cheated? Have they been robbed of millions and millions of kina? I can't say they have or they have not. The investigation has to establish those facts. Why is it that West New Britain are getting so much more and East New Britain farmers are getting very little? And they are claiming that this price has been given to them for 10 years now running, despite the movements in world prices.
Minister Maru says the government will have to act now so they can secure better packages to encourage the local people to free up land for oil palm development. Maru will be working closely with the oil palm minister Francis Maneke to finalize the terms of reference for the investigation of the company. The investigation team will include a lawyer and a chartered accountant and a global recognized oil palm industry expert. Maricela Kelaton, TV1 News.
East New Britain Province is set to develop two new potential special economic zones, the Rabaul Free Port and the Tokwa Airport City. Minister for International Trade and Investment Richard Maru made this announcement in Kokopo earlier in the week. Today, in a press conference, Minister Maru expanded on the plans the ministry under his leadership will undertake together with the East New Britain Provincial Government and Administration.
Earlier this week, Minister for International Trade and Investment Richard Maru made the announcement for the development of two new special economic zones following the groundbreaking ceremony of the Tokwa-Kokopo 17-kilometer four-lane road construction and the recent decision by the National Executive Council to lift the moratorium in Rabaul and redevelop the town to its former glory.
As you know, our government has identified Millen Bay and East New Britain as the two tourism hubs of our country. In line with that, the national government is investing over 200 million to build the four-lane to complement this plan. However, if we are going to build East New Britain into a tourism hub, we must bring the numbers of tourists. You can't just invest in the infrastructure and there's no tourists. But lately, each of them, as you know, have become crime-infested provinces as well. But we need to put in the infrastructure, the products, and the services that are required to attract the tourists and deal with the law and order issues.
Minister Maru said he met with Governor Michael Marum and the provincial administration in Kokopo and agreed to look at a second SEZ in East New Britain around Tokua. Maru says the government plans to offer a special package for investors to invest around Tokua.
We have so much to offer, but we must invest in the facilities, reduce the rate of crime, and offer incentives to encourage hoteliers to build hotels. They will build if they know that the money is there. So we must have an international airport at Tokwa, not a small domestic airport like we have today. So we have the potential for a big special economic zone around Tokwa. This will mean the government, by compulsory acquisition, must acquire all the land around Tokwa for this city that can be developed.
The Ministry for International Trade and Investment will work with the Tourism Promotion Authority and the Special Economic Zone Authority to develop these two SEZs for the East New Britain Province. Maricela Kelatod, TV1 News.
And now to the finance news. The kina closed unchanged at $0.2594 in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, our kina was buying $0.2519, $0.3694 Australian dollars, $0.2242 euro and 39.84 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, gold, coffee, cocoa and crude oil closed higher. Copper, palm oil and copper closed the day lower. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed higher, the ASX closed higher and all ordinaries closed higher as well. And we'll have news making headlines overseas after these messages. Stay with us.
Experience a convenient and smarter way to do your banking with BSB Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase Easy Pay units wherever you are. Visit your BSB branch today to register now for BSB Mobile Banking. BSB Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSB, our bank, our people.
A true champion is measured by their courage, their determination, and their passion to never give up and to always keep trying. With a delicious Milo and milk taste and added nutrients, Milo and milk is a great way to fuel our little champions with nourishing energy every day. Because true champions give it their all.
Milo, PNG and Mia. Prime PNG made.
Open lens.
Mama Flame is story all same.
Me say you seen flame flower long one him. Yeah, me say me Kim Kai Kai belong family belong me. You go more yet.
Man belong me save like flower balls belong me want them cover war na spring onion. All pikinini belong me save like him to mas pineapple donut me save walk him lo house. Ne me kumu mix him want them cow na karamapim long flower.
Tasty hash browns.
Time is scaling one time olara pela kai kai. Me save kissing more kai kai long all get a toya mi tromoy one time flame flower.
You enough making more one time flame flower.
Enjoy life when we work together, making happy memories that last forever. Harem, talk young, or roll the scale, rice family meal with talk. We'll bring out the smiles, cause it's a favorite by miles. Seni sigola, scale, rice, low scale price. Seni sigola, scale, rice, low scale price. But you like him.
Welcome back. French police shot and killed an alleged gunman in New Caledonia on Wednesday, local prosecutors said, bringing the toll of almost 2 months of unrest in the French Pacific Territory to 10. The suspect was killed during a gun battle in the Montour district outside New Caledonia's capital, Noumea, where police were deployed to clear roadblocks. When the police came under fire, members of the GIGN Elite Tactical Unit covering the operation shot back, killing the man, a source close to the case told AFP. A second source familiar with the case said police had been deployed to arrest people behind gun attacks that have become common in the area, only to come under fire themselves as they cleared a major road. Unrest broke out in mid-May in New Caledonia, almost 17,000 kilometers from Paris, over a planned expansion of the electoral roll that indigenous Kanak people fear would leave them in a permanent minority, crushing their hopes for independence. The head of South Australia's corruption watchdog says the state has the weakest integrity agency in the country and results in corruption going unchecked. Anne Vanstone resigned as the Independent Commissioner Against Corruption this week and today took aim at the government for not listening to her calls for reforms.
Having led South Australia's corruption watchdog after its powers were weakened by some of those it was designed to hold to account, ICAC Commissioner Anne Vanstone says she's walking away in part because the government has ignored her calls for reform.
I've failed to persuade the government to make these modest changes, certainly, and I have run out of steam.
In 2021, SA politicians unanimously passed laws stripping ICAC of many of its powers and muzzling its ability to make full public statements about its work.
So that we're the weakest integrity agency in Australia, that's acknowledged, not just by me. And who benefits from that, David? Who benefits?
Well, who do you think benefits?
Well, I think those who are corrupt.
Ms Vanstone says the changes have hamstrung cooperation between her office and the Director of Public Prosecutions, so much so that she's all but given up on pursuing court convictions.
I just don't see the point. The chances of them later, ending up years later, with a conviction are so slight.
Instead, she sought to investigate matters and work with departments to try to fix the system.
So that whatever allowed that corruption to take root, that loophole is closed off.
Commissioner Vanstone has accused the government, and in particular Attorney General Kaya Ma, of being uninterested in her appeals for reform. The government today refused to directly respond to her comments and referred the ABC to an interview Mr Ma gave on the matter yesterday, in which he said the government is not opposed to making sensible changes, adding there are a wide range of views about the operation of integrity agencies. The changes were made when the Liberals were in government. Now in opposition, they're now open to amendments.
Yes, we're always here to look for opportunities for improvement, that's true. But what we see today spelled out so clearly is that the resignation is the result of a failure by this government to engage in sensible calls.
The Commissioner will officially leave her post in early September.
Pacific Islands Forum leaders will meet with the government of Japan in Tokyo for the 10th Pacific Islands leaders meeting, Palm 10, from 16th to the 18th of July. Mark Brown, Prime Minister of the Cook Islands and Forum Chair, said the Pacific engagement with Japan through the Palm process began nearly 3 decades ago and their strong bonds run deep. He said this foundation has enabled them to find meaningful ways to work towards their common aspirations for peace, harmony, security, social inclusion, and prosperity. The Palm process presents an invaluable opportunity for the Pacific and Japan to discuss shared concerns and priorities in a spirit of genuine partnership and friendship. To deliver on the 2050 strategy for the Blue Pacific continent and region's development aspirations, genuine partnerships are essential. Japan has been a long-time partner to the Pacific as a region, as well as to Pacific Islands Forum members individually. Palm 10 is the culmination of numerous preparatory meetings between the Pacific Islands Forum and Japanese officials. The toxic fallout from Melbourne's massive factory fire could take days to understand and manage. While the blaze has been contained, the runoff into waterways, as well as the fumes and smoke, remain a hazard for residents and frontline workers.
Drums and a collapsed, smouldering roof. All that's left of a 7,000 square metre chemical factory. The cause remains unknown.
There's a large number of people that we need to talk to ascertain the events leading up to the incident yesterday, and that is going to take some time.
The blaze started on Wednesday morning and quickly turned into an inferno. Fire Rescue Victoria saying it's the largest emergency it's fought in years. Today, traffic remained at a standstill as firefighters continued suppressing the flames. The ACB Group factory in Derrimut is close to several neighbourhoods and industrial zones. People in surrounding suburbs were told this morning to keep doors and windows shut to keep toxic smoke out. That warning has since been lifted, but people are still advised to avoid the area if they can. The factory owners were already under investigation over a fire last year that killed a 44-year-old man. The EPA says since then it carried out 9 inspections and issued 2 notices. And WorkSafe made 24 visits and issued 7 compliance notices.
If there's been that level of concern and supervision by the EPA, how did this happen? What went wrong?
We do have real concern about the sort of toothless tiger nature of the EPA.
More than 3 million litres of water and 40,000 litres of foam have been used to battle the inferno.
We're now currently managing the water runoff, so the contaminated water as a result of the firefighting efforts, but also the contaminants from the building that has been burnt.
Melbourne Water putting up warning signs and the EPA monitoring creeks, rivers and even walkways for contamination. This path given the all clear.
EPA officers are continuing to test the area surrounding the fire site, and people are being warned not to go near local waterways which could be contaminated with runoff from the factory, like here where white firefighter foam is quickly making its way down Laverton Creek.
Booms have been installed to trap toxic runoff, but with the fire still active, it could be days until the full extent of the pollution is known.
Voluntary assisted dying is close to being universally available in Australia, with just the territories left to join. But it doesn't mean where you live will stop being an obstacle, with residency requirements now causing headaches after being introduced with the best of intentions.
Most Australians now have access to euthanasia if they're diagnosed with a terminal illness, but for a small number, like Marion, who we can't legally identify, there's a legal quirk taking the choice out of their hands. She describes it as
extremely harrowing, emotionally distressing, and left me feeling very angry, which has resulted in me suffering anxiety attacks, for which I'm now under medication.
The problem is voluntary assisted dying is normally limited to residents who've lived in a state for at least 12 months. Marion lived in WA most of her life but retired to Tasmania about a decade ago. Last year, on a holiday in the West, she discovered she had terminal lung cancer.
If I had been diagnosed with my illness whilst I was in Tasmania, I might have been able to access voluntary assisted dying in Tasmania.
But she was too ill to return and hadn't been in WA long enough. Despite seeking a review in the State Administrative Tribunal, the answer was the same: wait until a year after her diagnosis to qualify as a resident.
It was the correct decision, but according to the legal requirements, but that legal requirement, I think, is no longer fit for purpose.
Early adopters like Victoria and WA introduced the requirement to stop people travelling to their states for euthanasia when it was illegal elsewhere. But with VAD now available in every state and soon the territories, there are calls to scrap it.
The practical concerns about fiscal implications for the healthcare resource, the healthcare system, they just don't exist anymore.
My life should not be in the hands of legislators, as this decision should be entirely mine.
It's a change supported by some of the most vocal opponents to voluntary assisted dying, the Australian Christian lobby.
Well, that restriction really serves no purpose anymore, so yeah, there's no point in maintaining it, so we certainly wouldn't have any objection to that being removed.
The ABC asked each state government about removing the requirement. Only the WA and Queensland health ministers said they were open to the idea. South Australia, New South Wales and Victoria said their laws would be examined in scheduled reviews, while Tasmania said it had no plans for any changes. Marion wants every state to rethink its laws.
This will then give us the legal right to choose a dignified way to end our life with the least amount of pain and trauma.
The goal of euthanasia, Marion hopes, will be a reality for others like her into the future.
And that ends the news segment. Join Rex after the break with your sporting details.
Beauty is my business, but beauty sure is a tough game. Filters are great, but great skin, better. And that's why my skin deserves the best. So I choose self-care, soaps that gently nourish my skin, resulting in a radiant look, made with tropical ingredients. I trust self-care from City Pharmacy, so bring it on! My skin is ready and so am I.
Hi, I'm Chef Jules Hennau, and this is where my true inspiration for cooking started. Like most of us, I learned to cook from my mum. Nothing beats simple recipes where fresh local produce is at the heart, especially when it's a home-cooked meal, prepared and shared with the ones you love. And in PNG, no meal is complete without rice. And my choice is always Trukai. Trukai, true inspiration through generations.
At the PNG LNG project, we are proud of our long-standing partnership with the Kumuls, as they represent the hopes and aspirations of so many Papua New Guineans. Rugby league is more than just a sport. It promotes our shared values of leadership, teamwork, respect, personal integrity, and excellence. Lessons learnt on the pitch carry on throughout life and go beyond serving ourselves.
More than the life we've known, there is more to what the future holds. You me holy man, no walk one time. Oh, 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 oh. We dare to believe in incredible things. Oh, 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 oh. With money plus we're ready to go.
Step back on inside, he's over!
Welcome back. In sports, a PNG under-19 football team was humiliated this morning by New Zealand at the OFC Men's Under-19 Championship in Samoa. The opening match in Group B didn't go to plan for PNG as the New Zealand side outsmart PNG's team. They led 5-0 at halftime, only to come back and put another 5 more goals to trust the PNG under-19 team in a humiliating finish 10-0 to the match. This defeat keeps PNG winless in the under-19 OFC Men's Championship, having lost the previous match 1-2 to New Caledonia. PNG under-19 team has not been performing well at the regional event. They produced similar results in their last outing at the championship. That's more to do in the youth football. The Gulf Comara Football Club travels to Lae for this Sunday's double-header at the Sir Ignatius Kilaga Stadium. Comara FC plays Admiralty Island FC in the first match before Lae City Dwellers meets FC Morobe Wawans. The local derby between the two home teams is expected to be an intense match, having a strong 2-1 win against Wawans last weekend in the season opener. Comara departed Port Moresby with hopes of bagging another 3 points come Sunday. Meanwhile, on its first trip to Port Moresby, Lae City FC will be taking on the United Highlands FC on Saturday, before competition leaders Hekari United meet Port Moresby Strikers to round up the day at the PNG Football Stadium. Hekari United and Port Moresby Strikers will be squaring up in the grand final rematch. When they last met in the final last year, Hekari United was good for the Strikers. This match is expected to be the match of the round. With only 4 rounds left before the top 6 teams in the 2024 Digicel ExxonMobil Cup race are decided, Capital City franchise Moniplus NCDC Port Moresby Vipers find themselves in a desperate must-win situation from here on. This Sunday, they face neighbours Gas Resources Central Dabaris, who are also playing to keep their 6th place on the competition points ladder. This interesting matchup is part of Sunday's epic triple-header, preceded by Gulf ISO Wigman clash at 12 p.m. and PNG Hunters and Queensland Capras in QRL round 18 at 2 p.m.
They keep it going.
After their 22-14 come-from-behind win over the Moniplus NCDC Port Moresby Vipers back in round 3, Gas Resources Central Dabaris will be expecting the Vipers to come out with all guns blazing in their last-ditch attempt to save their season. Out of their last 13 games, Vipers sit in 9th place with 11 points from 5 wins and a draw. Dabaris, after last week's loss to Gurias, remain in 6th place with 14 points, but at the crossroad with a loss to Vipers could see them dropping out of top 6. Coach Solomon Kuluniasi was unimpressed with their form over the past 2 weeks and would be expecting some big improvements from his playmakers, Niki Hasu, Lotte Kuman and Matthew Wawe, who were very ordinary and outplayed by the Gurias last week. They'll be up against an equally experienced Vipers spine, Charlie Simon, Joe Genna and Patrick Morea. The Barry's forwards Sydney Koi, Cliff Dange, Lega Batia, Xavier Turi and Dixon Yameson, who had their work cut out for them last week, need to be on top of their game early to test out the patience of the Vipers' robust pack. Captain Fedro Gene, Kanani Palangat, Julius Jacopa, Mezak Wallen and Tommy Moide, who will be up for the challenge. Vipers Pack 5 core captain Gilmore Paul, Thomas Kuipa, Henry Marai and Leon Undupia and Sylvester Bulu at fullback will provide the last line of defense. They'll be up against the Barry's wrecking ball Joe Frank the Tank and Tiaga Apa at centres, setting up their flashy wingers Douglas Pirika and Bartholomew Avi to score points. Meantime, the Barry's Wizkid Morea Jr., who is really struggling to find his old form after injury, might get a run as well. Both teams are struggling, but on shape and form, the Barry's play with a bit more energy and flair in their attack, but Vipers' desperation might just get them home in a close one. Terry Longwood, TV1 Sports.
With 7 days to go before the National Schools Rugby League Championship kicks off in Goroka, Eastern Highlands Province, there's hype and excitement building in anticipation of an epic exhibition of emerging rugby league talents in the under-18 girls and under-19 boys representing the 6 regions in the country. This is the second phase of the PNG NRL Bid Academy program, which ran for 16 weeks, featuring POM Central, POM NCD, NGI, Goroka, Lay and Mount Hagen boys and girls. The host, Eastern Highlands, stand ready to welcome visiting academy teams from the other regions who are expected to come together for this tournament. PNG RFL player development manager Joe Grima and his team have been working closely with staff of the ground to make sure all travel arrangements and logistics are in place, both for teams traveling in by air and land, to make sure they get to Goroka in time for the game.
Oh, Terry, I'm excited about this. This is the second part of the phase, or second phase of the PNG NRL Bid Academy program. As you know, we had the pilot case here in Port Moresby last year, and we decided to extend that into the 6 regions. And culminating in the 16 weeks, the 6 teams will travel to Goroka next week. So we'll have 22 games over 2 days, and that will consist of POM Central, POM NCD, NGI, Goroka, Lay and Mount Hagen boys and girls. As I said to you at the beginning, it's been 16 weeks of training, and it all comes together for this wonderful weekend up Goroka.
Grima said once the teams settle in Goroka, there will be briefings and protocols to get the teams ready before all the excitement begin on Saturday morning. He said each team will play 3 games each in Pool A and Pool B for the male and female, and depending on how they rank at the end of their pool games, will determine their placings for crossover rounds in the semi-finals on Sunday. The tournament finals will be using adjoining fields 1 and 2 at the National Sport Institute to fast-track games before the final on Sunday afternoon, where the best female under-18 girls region and the best male under-19 boys region will be crowned champions.
The scheduling's been done, Terry. Obviously, we've got Goroka, who are hosting the carnival. Lay and Mount Hagen will travel via bus. However, POM Central and POM NCD, they'll travel by plane. And the one that's going to give us a bit more of a challenge is the young men and women going from Kokopo to Kavian, Kavian to POM, and POM to Goroka. So they're actually going to get in 1 day early, just to give them a little bit of time to freshen up, because they're going to lose a whole day in travel.
Grima further explained while the program is a collaboration and a partnership between the PNG RFL and PNG NRL Bid under the one umbrella, PNG RFL will identify for the first time in history a PNG Schools Girls Merit Team and a PNG Schoolboys side as well. There will also be special recognitions for Best Male and Best Female awards of the tournament for both categories.
Depending on the how they finish the crossover round, we'll have elimination finals, and then at Sunday afternoon we'll work out and know who the best male schoolboys region is and who the best female schoolgirls region is. Also on top of that, the PNG RFL and the NRL Bid under the one house, we are hosting and running this program, but the PNG RFL will identify for the first time in history a PNG Schoolgirls Merit Team, and for a long period in its absence, a PNG Schoolboys side as well.
PNG AFL talent Alan Sevara returned home today from Australia after spending a month with Gold Coast Suns Academy team. He was welcomed at the Jacksons International Airport by PNG AFL Academy management team and the relatives. Coming out from the PNG AFL Academy program, Alan Sevara was one of the 3 academy players alongside Rocky Rex and Alice O'Tona to participate with Gold Coast Suns. Of them, Sevara did well to convince the Gold Coast Suns Academy selection panel to secure himself a spot in the team to participate in the 2024 March AFL National Development Championship in the Under-16 category. During his 4 weeks in the Suns Academy, Sevara said he has learned a lot. He said there are a lot of similarities between Gold Coast Suns Academy and PNG AFL pathway system, especially the way they carry out their activities.
Me training number. Mangi ol kama scheme au PNG also training. Me time same as I play training liya. Me like plan to go to something like me come on the leadership. What put me like on the leadership lo Gold Coast Suns. Lo training side number.
Regional Manager for PNG AFL Academy Program, David Topani, was also present to welcome Severa back home. Topani gave credit to PNG AFL Smart Start New Kick program, a pathway that Alan came through to find himself the opportunity in Australia. Topani also considered that Hewago Oea, or ACE, has set the benchmark going through this system to make himself PNG's big-name AFL player in Australia, and many young PNG kids, including Alan, are looking up to him.
Like every little kid wants to follow a step and become an AFL superstar in Australia, and Alan was one of them, following through his footsteps, playing footy back home with the Smart Start New Kick program, got selected with the under-14s, under-16s, and then been part of the Gold Coast Suns Academy this year. So really good turnout for the AFL PNG development program to have upcoming stars traveling down to be part of the program in Australia.
Severa played in all 3 matches for Gold Coast Suns Academy, including their win yesterday against GSW Giants. That's all we have in sports. Carol.
Thank you, Rex. And now we'll have the weather forecast for the main centers for the next 24 hours. Southern region, isolated showers and thunderstorms. Port Moresby, mostly fine, partly cloudy. Momase, scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms. Lae, partly cloudy. Wewak, period of cloud with possible rain showers and possible thunderstorms. New Guinea Islands, scattered showers and thunderstorms with areas of rain. Kavieng, mostly cloudy with some rain showers with thunderstorms. Buka, partly cloudy with possible brief showers. Highlands, scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms. Mendi, Tari and Wabeg, mostly cloudy with some rain showers. Ocean forecast. Coral Sea, seas slight to moderate with southeast winds of 10 to 20 knots. Bismarck Sea, seas rough with southeast winds of 10 to 20 knots, reaching 30 knots along the western sector. Coastal waters forecast. Waters of Samarai Island to Cape Vogel and all Milne Bay Islands, seas 1.5 to 2 meters, rising to 2.5 meters at times. Waters of Finchafen through Vitia Strait to Siasi and Long Islands, seas 2 to 3 meters. Waters of West New Britain, seas 1.5 to 2 meters, rising to 3 meters along warning areas. And that ends another edition of TV1 News. Thanks for your company. Pleasant viewing. Bye for now.
The TV1 News was proudly brought to you by BSP, our bank, our people.